Hello, I want to talk to you a little bit about one of the essential components of 640 discipleship, which is baptism. Now, you've heard consistently throughout that we believe the process of discipleship is not just a gathering of information or a conformity of a life, but it's a combination of living the life that Jesus lived and becoming his apprentice. It's not a journey that you ever arrive to a certain destination. It's a lifelong pursuit of trying to live like Christ. Now that is our goal. Now that said, when you look at baptism, you see that Jesus intentionally modeled being baptized for us by his baptism that we have recorded in the Gospels. But not only that, when he left the earth, would be right before he left, he gave us the charge of making sure that we would disciple folks that included a process of baptism. And so if you're there and you're going, wow, I don't need to get baptized. I love Jesus and Jesus knows he loves me and I love him. Of course he does. He knows all of those things and more. But he has asked us, as part of the process of modeling our life after him, to live in a lifestyle of submission. And that one of those things, one of the pieces for 640 discipleship for us is to submit to the process of baptism. There's nothing magical about the water. There's nothing magical even about the event, except for it is a surrender of your life and saying, I'm declaring to the community of people I belong to and to God himself that I want to live a life after the life of Christ. Baptism for us, as we talk about it, is really defined very simply. It's a believer's water baptism. Now, those three words say a lot. First, as a believer, it means that infant baptisms and newborns, that those things that we believe it's an act of someone that illustrates an inward reality, that there's been a personal decision to follow Christ by faith. And because of that personal decision, now I'm being baptized. It's not something that the baptism is done before the faith happens. And so first we would say that it needs to be a decision of faith representing an inward reality. Now we said believers, now water baptism. We believe that here at Westgate we practice baptism by immersion. That means that we go for the full dunk. We believe that that's consistent with what we see described in the New Testament. But you may come from a background that's different than that, and the mode of baptism can be all kinds of different modes. You might have been dipped, you might have been splashed, you might have been smeared upon, dripped on, all of those kinds of things. All of that is fine as long as the water baptism was as a believer. And then we've practiced believers' water baptism in that we believe that we're talking about a water baptism, not the baptism of the Holy Spirit, that happens at conversion instantaneously as you embrace Christ by faith. But we're talking about an act of your will, something that is an inward reality for you and your spirit that you portray to a community of people.